Okay, people, AC Butch here, and welcome to my show. First, let me tell you something. I don't script it, I don't rehearse it, I don't even know where I'm going, so if we go down the wrong road, don't worry, we'll just come back. If I get tongue-tied and go ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, beats, whatever, that's me, because coming from Brooklyn, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, when I was about 9 years old, a wonderful thing happened. Now, Ovington Bowling Alley Bar, luncheonette, so on and so forth. I almost grew up in that. That was literally about maybe less than 100 feet from my house, right on the corner of Ovington and Fifth Avenue. But anyway, when I got to be 9 years old, my father asked me if I wanted to bowl a few games. I couldn't believe it. You're not allowed to do that. But he was very good friends with the owner, this guy Eddie. And they let me in there and I started bowling. Well, let me tell you something. It took, well, these are the days with pin boys, the alley conditions. They had 10 lanes upstairs and 10 lanes downstairs, which actually was a pretty big bowling alley back then. With pin boys, tough to hit, but great atmosphere. And when I broke 100 for the first time, let me tell you something. It was like a 300 game. What a fantastic feeling. But anyway, the deal that he had with Eddie was I could really go in there and bowl any day I wanted. And then my father would settle up with Eddie and take care of the pin boys and stuff like that. And within the next 2 years, I started getting really good. By the time I was 13, I was bowling for my father in the league that he was in. Not all the time, you know, he really enjoyed more just sitting in the bar and shooting the shit rather than getting out there and bowling and doing anything. And he wasn't a bad bowler. He was about a 160, 165, which in those days in the league was not bad at all. But I was doing better. It comes down to the end of the season. And the first place team had the captain, this guy by the name of Jimmy Nolan, who was the head pin chaser there. Fantastic bowler, lefty, threw the biggest hook I ever saw at the time. And at Ovington, nobody, but let me tell you something, nobody, I don't care who it was, could come in and beat Jimmy Nolan in Ovington. That's just how good he was there. And he was good in any house, but I mean, in Ovington, he was unbeatable. Well, we bowl them and we have to win all 3 games. So our team, it was position night, the final night. Our team had to win all 3 games to win the championship. I bowled really good that day, really good. And we won the championship. We swept the 3 games, which was almost impossible to do. And Jimmy and my father, they got into a few verbal words, Jimmy being Irish, my father being a thick-headed Scandinavian Swede. One word led to the other, and my father challenged Jimmy to bowl me because Jimmy was putting me down. First of all, I never really bowled for money, not heads up against somebody. My father, though, was smart enough to know the match couldn't be in Ovington, even though that was my house, and I really never really bowled anywhere else to speak of. He sets it up in Lemark Lanes up on 88th Street and 5th Avenue. Brand new house. I was never in anything like that. I mean, big, spacious, beautiful, boom, 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 the whole bit. We go up there, and we're going to bowl a 3-game match, total wood, for $50. $50 was a week's pay to men with families. $50 was not something to sneeze at. Let me tell you something, not to sneeze at all. Well, I get up right away. Let me say one thing, I'm practicing, and these alleys were so easy in comparison to Ovington, I couldn't believe it. I mean, but that's still besides the point. The first ball I throw in the actual game, I'm so nervous, my hand's shaking, my legs are shaking, my toes are shaking. I lightly go off my ankle, not much, and luckily I throw a strike. Jimmy starts off with a big split, an open frame, and after that it just took all the pressure off. I bowled a 3-game total wood thing like I've never bowled in my life. I mean, I shot like 277 the first game, came back with like a 253 or something like that, and I think my third game was 230 something. Oh, I was sky high. I win. My father gives me that whole 50. He gives me $100 from the league, all in dollar bills. I got $150 in singles. You know what kind of a wad that, this is money I never had in my life. With all of the things, I mean, even down on the streets in Bay Ridge, I was an entrepreneur. Yeah, I sold lemonade that I made, Kool-Aid actually. It wasn't lemonade, and this and that, and I did anything I had to, but I never had money like this. The next day, I walk into another brand new house. Well, I didn't mention, we had moved from Bay Ridge to Bensonhurst when I was 10 years old. So I was already in Bensonhurst for 3 years. I was never in this bowling alley though. Brand new bowling alley on Avenue M in McDonald called the Avenue M Bowl. You're going to hear a lot about that place. Well, I walk in the next day with 150 big ones in my pocket, my bowling ball in my hand, and I tell you, they had dollar pot games with guys my age, got right into that, befriended everybody there, and that was the start. That was the start of AC Butch, professional bowler, doing it for a living, and we're going to just get into so much more, but let's end it right now because I don't want to be too long-winded. No. Can't be too long-winded. Okay, and you're going to hear a lot. You're going to hear a lot. A lot of it you're not even going to believe.